Hello everyone, and welcome back to my video. I'm Nono, and in today's video, this is probably the another part of the reading video series. And in today's video, we're actually trying to decode the passages and also the questions related to the paragraphs of the passage. And what we're going to be doing right now, right in this video, is read the passage, like the paragraph, and we are going to decode what the writer means, like the accents of the writer. We're going to discover the opinions and what the writer is telling us. Like, we're going to read the inclinations and the signs of the writer. Okay, so let's get into it. Okay, so let's take a look at decoding the questions, decoding passages, and the questions relating to these passages. Okay, so this is the example part of the whole passage. So the whole passage was a really big one, a big chunk of information, but this is just the small piece, the small extraction of the main passage. So take your time, pause your video right here if you feel like it, and take your time reading it. Okay, so this is the actually yes, no, or not given question type. So uh, in the question type, you will be given question statements, and you have to decide whether this is the true information, whether it's accurate or it's like directly opposite, like literally the opposite meaning of what's given in the paragraph, or the not given type. So not given is actually the like extended information that the passage, the given paragraph doesn't say anything about. So example, somebody eats fish every day. So it doesn't say anything if the someone, that person eating fish every day, likes or dislikes the fish. So this type of thing is the not given question type. This is like unnecessary information. All right, so yes means we have to decide the given question statement is true, which is yes in this case, if the information in the question is accurate. So it means exactly the same with different patterns of words. So this is like maybe the question statements has different synonyms, like other synonyms. It never seems exactly the same as the given paragraph. It will change a little bit, like the sequence or the word patterns, or just like the inclination. We will be given this kind of question statement, and we have to choose if it's yes, no, or not given. Okay, when do we have to choose no? So if the information in the question is wrong, like literally opposite meaning in the given text, in the given paragraphs, we must say, the information. So if the question statement's information is like we don't see any exactly the same or identical words in the question statements, which we normally never do, and it will mean, but it will have the literally opposite meaning to what the text means. So we have to choose it's no. And the not given type. So not given type is a little bit tricky. If we're given yes and no, it's like much easier for us. But the not given is really messing up with this question type. So let's take a look. If the question has more like unnecessary information and details, like the unmentioned details more like than in the given paragraph or the text. So the question says, children with good self-control are known to be likely to do well in school. Is it yes, is it no, or is it not given? We have to choose that. And where do we find the information? Quite easy, from the given text that we just passed through. Okay, so let's get back to that. Okay, so there is the paragraph, and the first one says a strong possibility is that the play supports the early development of children's self-control. So we see self-control here. So this is like we have to first locate the answer. It's like scanning the entire thing to find the right answer, like location, explains Dr. Sarah Baker. This is our ability to develop awareness of our own thinking processes. It influences how effectively we go about undertaking challenging activities. So this is about the explanation and the researchers' views and everything like that. And we see a strong possibility children's play supports the early development of children's self-control. We see development of children's self-control. Okay, so in a study carried out, we skip this paragraph because there is no more information that we're looking for according to the question statement. So we go to this paragraph. In a study carried out by Baker, this person, with toddlers and young preschoolers, these people are children. She found out that children with greater self-control solve problems more quickly when exploring an unfamiliar setup requiring scientific reasoning. So this is the kind of the result, domino effect of developing a good self-control. So here it says, in a study, in a research carried out by this person, Dr. Sarah Baker, with toddlers and young preschoolers. These people are young children, according to the question, just like in the question statement. She found out that children with greater self-control, we are in this case, this is a research. So we are comparing these people in the research to the ordinary people, like the children who don't have enough self-control as these children who are in the research. So these people solved problems more quickly when exploring an unfamiliar setup requiring scientific reasoning. So these children with greater self-control can perform better, especially in the fields of problems where they have to solve these problems, which requires scientific reasoning. So these are the results of good self-control. But in the question statement, we are talking about these children alone, children in the research alone. We're not actually comparing these children to anything else. So we can say it's a children with good self-control. So we don't compare them, so it's not greater, it's just good self-control. Okay, so this sort of evidence, the evidence makes us think that giving children the chance to play will make them more successful problem solvers in the long run. Okay, so this means that this sort of evidence, the observation from the research, makes us think that giving children the chance to play, like making children play more freely, will make them more successful problem solvers in the long run. Because when they're playing, their brains are developing in the long run. So in the long run means in the future. We all know that. In the long term, something like that. So this is obviously the domino effect of children's play, like free children's play, and also children with good self-control. These children have this potential, latent potential in the long run. So if playful experience do facilitate this aspect of development, say the researchers, it could be extremely significant for educational practices because the ability to self-regulate has been shown to be a key predictor of academic performance. So we see a lot of facts here. We are trying to decode the paragraphs first, and then we will go to the question. So if playful experiences, these experiences gained from play, children's play, do facilitate this aspect of development. This aspect of development means the problem-solving aspect of development, say the researchers, it could be extremely significant. Like this could be really, really useful for educational practices when they're in school, obviously, because we see educational, because the ability to self-regulate. Now, the ability to self-regulate means that regulation. When you regulate yourself, you are aware of what you're doing. You are trying to regulate yourself. You're trying to control your behaviors and emotions and actions and everything like that. You are consciously and awareingly trying to regulate yourself. You know what you're doing. So this is like a self-control. This is literally self-control, but this is like a synonym of self-control. So has been shown to be a key predictor of academic performance. So academic performance means that the performance done in the school, because academic means that it relates to education, right? So because it also says educational practices, um, this one and this one, academic performance, they are related to each other because they both concern with education. In school performances, and anything like that, in the long run, they will be good students in the future because it says successful, more successful problem solvers in the long run. So, in the long term, these children who are not even in the school yet, because if they say toddlers and preschoolers, they're only toddlers and young preschoolers in the research. So we can say that when they grow up, when they get to school, this is like in the future, in the long run. This is kind of the long run for them in the research. So when they get to that stage, they will become more successful problem solvers. So this is our decoding the passage part. So let's go back to the question. Okay. So the question here says children with good self control are known to be likely to do well in school. Okay, I left later on. Okay, so children with good self control are known to be likely to do well in school later on. So later on means that in the future, in the long term, in the long run, these children, the toddlers and young preschoolers, have good self control. And when they grow up, so when they get to school, they are known to be likely to do well. So let's go back to the paragraphs again. So this is basically what the question means. We decoded the question, and let's go back to the paragraph. Okay, so the paragraph here, it also literally means the same because it says children with good self-control. So here it says toddlers and young preschoolers. She found that this is like in all of these toddlers and young preschoolers, in the ordinary and the extraordinary. And she carried out a research and found out that the children who had, like children within these people with greater self control, solve problems more quickly. So this is like their good performance. And also, this aspect of the development is like extremely significant for educational practices. So this is like here, this aspect of development, which is children with greater self-control solve problems more effectively, is extremely significant for educational practices. And also, the ability to self-regulate has been shown to be a key predictor of academic performance. So we know exactly that the question right there is basically true. So this is our number one question.